Well, welcome to the podcast Ransom for Many. I'm Andy Christofides, and today we have a special episode where I'm interviewing a member of my own congregation to get their story as to how he encountered the Lord Jesus. Mark's Gospel, we meet many characters, men, women, various ages, young people, children, different backgrounds, rich, poor, healthy, sick. And it's the same today. In any local church, you'd expect to find people from all different types of backgrounds. The gospel is a magnet for all people in all times. We want to try and bring Mark's gospel to life with some up-to-date stories. And today I've got Lewis here with me. So welcome, Lewis. First, could you introduce yourself? Tell us a bit about who you are.
Yeah, my name's Lewis Morgans. I'm a refrigeration engineer from the area of Cardiff. I'm married with 3 kids, Oscar, Isaac and Elliot. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, you haven't always been a Christian. Nobody's born a Christian. Tell us a little bit about your life before you met Christ.
Well, before I became a Christian, I lived, I think, what's considered a normal life by today's standard. I was always working, chasing money. I liked drinking. I smoked a lot of cannabis, which unfortunately is considered normal. So I smoked weed from my early teens up to conversion at the age of 27. So, yeah.
So you'd smoke for maybe about 10 years on quite a regular basis?
I would say it was over 10 to 12 years, something like that. I think it started when I was 15 and it got, by the time I was 18 to 20, it was every day. So, yeah.
Okay. During that time, thinking about your upbringing, had you met any Christians? Had you been to church regularly?
No, I think the only time I'd been in a church was maybe for a funeral. But I didn't know any Christians. Didn't have any Christian friends, or didn't speak to anyone who knew the Lord. So, yeah, no one.
Okay. Well, often when we hear people's stories, they've met Christians, or they've got a Christian friend who witnesses to them, but you didn't have any of that. So what started you thinking about Christianity?
Well, I started feeling like maybe early 20s, like something was missing from life. I was never satisfied with what I had. I always wanted more. There was always more money, more this, more that. Just something to satisfy, and it never did. So I started to think about asking questions like, why are we here? Is there a God? What happens when we die? And things like that. And I think shortly after I became quite obsessed with like conspiracy theories and like New Age philosophies, sort of Eastern type things. And I was just trying to find some sort of purpose and meaning and peace, I guess, in my life. But those things, unfortunately, never brought any satisfaction. It was always the same.
Taking the cannabis and drinking, that didn't bring you any lasting relief or sense of purpose?
No, it was just none at all. It was just every day to sort of maintain this fake peace I had. Yeah.
Okay. What did your then girlfriend think about the situation?
Well, like I said at the beginning, it was this day and age. It's, for someone of my age, smoking cannabis is sadly considered quite normal. So, yeah, it was normal to her as well. In the sort of circle of friends we had, it was just everyday life.
Okay. So looking for purpose, looking for a sense of peace, looking for the meaning of life, examining conspiracy theories. You don't know any Christians, you hadn't been to church. How does Jesus come onto the scene?
Well, one day, whilst I was reading, and I used to watch a lot of like YouTube videos and stuff like that. I was watching, a video of Bible prophecy, and it got me to reading the Bible. I read the Ten Commandments, and well, when I read the Ten Commandments, it sort of it scared me, to be honest, because I was reading them thinking, well, I'm quite like what's being described, and I was thinking, well, if this is true, then well, I've got a problem, and it scared me. So I kept reading, I kept watching videos, I was looking more into the Bible, trying to understand as much as I could about it, and that's when I read what's called the Gospel, and what Jesus done on the cross, and how we can be forgiven for those commandments we've broken.
Okay, so again, you haven't met any Christians, you haven't been to church, you're watching videos, you're reading the Bible, the Ten Commandments scare you, and then you find the gospel and forgiveness through the Lord Jesus. Was it pretty quick then coming to faith? Was there a period where it was a real puzzle to you?
It wasn't too long, to be honest. I would probably say in the space of a couple of weeks. Because I kept reading, and once I found out what the gospel was, it's one night I just decided, right, if there is a God, and if you are there and this is real, I decided to pray to him and said, if this is the case, then show me. Right. At the time I'm thinking, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Feels like I'm speaking to no one, but I did it anyway. And a couple of nights later, I had this routine where I'd around 10 o'clock every night, I'd roll a spliff and go outside and smoke till early hours of the morning. So I was doing that this one night, and whilst I was smoking, a thought popped in my head, a thought that just came out of nowhere. I didn't feel like I was in any control of what I was thinking, and he just said, just put it out. And I felt my hand just come down from my mouth and put the spliff out on the wall, and it sort of felt like autopilot, where I just went into the house, took everything I had drug wise, and put it in the bin, and then I sat down. So,
and your partner then was, did you talk to her straight away? Was she up? Where was she?
No, she wasn't up. She was, she's an early bird, so she was in bed. But the next day, I was just thinking, I got to talk to someone. So I started talking to her, and it was whilst we were in mid conversation, it was just like a light bulb coming on, or a puzzle, the last piece of a puzzle being inserted. I just found myself believing it, and I knew it was true.
I remember you were saying to me, I think you said to your now wife, what if it's all true?
Yeah. I said that, then it was just like a light bulb at that moment. It's like, whoa. Yeah.
And it was a real sense of certainty.
Yeah. That's the only word for it, certainty. It was, I just found myself at that point knowing that this is true, and knowing I'd been forgiven for the things I've done.
And that's almost 4 years ago now, Lewis, yeah?
Yeah. It would, 4 years in June, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so what did you do in the days that followed? What happened?
In the days that followed, I think the next day we went to we just went on a walk somewhere, and can't remember the place of it now, but it's a little place in by Castle Cork. And I just remember feeling just such a weight off my shoulders. I kind of felt ill, but in a good way, I guess. Then shortly after, we got in touch with, obviously, yourself, and started coming to church.
Okay, just in coming towards a conclusion of that, so you encountered Jesus Christ. We've seen that so many times in Mark's gospel, people meeting Christ and him changing their lives completely. How would you say your life and lifestyle has changed in the last few years?
I found that instantly my character and my attitudes toward things changed. Like my vocabulary, for example, it was colourful before, but it's that completely something I'd done habitually just completely stopped. The smoking weed stopped. And I started caring about things and other than money, other than possessions and material gain, and other than myself, which was a new one.
Yeah.
So,
it seems your wife, your now wife, went through a similar sort of a journey and came to faith a little after. What changed in your relationship with your then girlfriend?
Yeah, well, I think obviously her story is her own, but I guess she looked at my life and what was going on, and it was without even knowing I was witnessing to her, which led to her conversion. So I think shortly after that, we when my wife converted, we decided to get married. And we've had 2 more kids since then. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, well, that's marvelous to hear. Encountering Christ, changing lives, is current reality. Is there any advice you give to those listening who are not yet saved?
I think based on my conversion experience, my advice would be to do what I did. If you're unsure, if you want answers, ask. Just pray and he will answer.
Thanks, Lewis. Is there a Bible verse you want to share with us in conclusion?
Yeah, I think my go-to relating to my story as well, if wanting to know the truth and wanted to know what's real, is John 14 and verse 6. Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
Thank you, Lewis. Great to spend some time with you. Thanks for
No
speaking to
problem.
us. God bless.
Cheers. Bye.